Well, we are live again for 7 Questions With, and we have Lauren from Spitfire today. I'm so excited to have her on. So Lauren, just take a couple seconds to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Well, my name is Lauren LeMunyan. I'm the founder and CEO of Spitfire Coach. We have been around since 2015. We're a network of amazing coaches, facilitators who are all about helping people discover that inner fire, the things that light them up, helping them offload and uncover who they're meant to be and the passions that really fire them up.
I love the play on words there too. That's so good, so good. So Lauren, what's inspiring you most right now?
So I saw this question and I was like, what is the angle I want to take this from? And I think the answer might surprise you. So what's inspiring me right now is rest, and mainly listening to my body, what it's asking me to pay attention to, having me really listen to those intuitive hits of what feels right for me right now.
Wow. That's so good. And one of the things that when we were putting together all these channels, this concept of wellness and well-being kept coming up. And so we're actually going to have a Trainable Live channel in that. And so I love to maybe even hear more about that in that channel in the future, because it's an aspect that we don't really think of. And I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Lauren, what makes you an expert in what you do?
Well, I mean, I could give you my list of certifications. So first, I'm a master certified coach. I have over 3,000 certified hours. I'm a mentor coach for other coaches. I'm certified in 4 stages of psychological safety, Myers-Briggs. I geek out on all things people, coaching, team dynamics, psychological safety, all the things that make things possible in the workplace. So not just about like the number, like what are the drivers for profitability, for innovation, for problem solving, for team cohesion. That's what I've been focusing on at Spitfire Coach, and also throughout my career in nonprofit management and entrepreneurship.
Yes. And for y'all, those who don't know, I've gotten a chance to meet Lauren multiple times. She delivers for one of our mutual clients, and she always does an incredible job in what she does. And the breadth of the services and the depth that Spitfire and Lauren provides is amazing. So we're excited to be able to learn from you through the episodes you choose to do with us. So speaking of that, what maybe book or podcast are you learning from these days?
Well, my current read right now is Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. I am obsessed with all the things that he does. He has an amazing Instagram channel where literally he just has a quote and then has a doodler just make a stick figure explanation of it. So he's amazing at taking these studies that aren't necessarily like, the airport books of like junk science that's out there, but he has these back studies of new ways to think about people in the workplace, about how to motivate people, about how to lead, how to inspire. And like, I feel seen and heard by him, because I'm like, yes, this is what people need to hear, because there's so much antiquated bad advice out there that actually is creating more harm and trauma in the workplace. And we have an opportunity, and I think a responsibility, to not just address it, but to do something about it.
Well said. Well said. I mean, on that note, the next question kind of plays into that. What do you think the world could use more of and less of right now?
I think the world could use more critical thinking. And what I mean by that is leading with curiosity and asking questions rather than seeing things as absolute truths. Everyone has a bias. Everyone has a lens that they're either speaking from or an agenda that's driving them to communicate in a certain way. And rather than meet it with either acceptance or rejection, if we could think, what feels like it's aligned with what I believe, and what feels like it's actually rubbing up against it? And how do I ask more open-ended questions to give myself more understanding, so I can understand where that person's coming from, where I'm coming from, and we can create more shared understanding so that we can all learn from one another and have more of a community-based learning process, problem-solving process. Like literally the world would be a better place if we just took a moment to pause and get curious.
Love it. Love it. So we need more of that. What do we need less of?
We need less assumptions and judgment. So on the other side of that coin, the opposite of curiosity is judgment. And I think this comes from a very self-protected state of we are so embedded into our belief system, our labels of who we are based on those beliefs, that we don't have any wiggle room or space to accept other people in because we see them as the enemy or as a threat. So the opportunity is less assumption, more curiosity. We actually will lower our stress levels, lower our cortisol levels, lower our health issues overall if we can just shift that lens a little bit more.
I love that. You're preaching to the choir here. I mean, one of the interesting things that's happened, we at Train Up believe that inclusion is greater than diversity. Mm-hmm. And I know that's, coming from an African American, that might seem a little bit strange, but inclusion is that thing that can shape everything that we do, every interaction that we have. And so one of the things we teach is courage and curiosity are really a part of that. So I love to hear you talk about curiosity because it's such a big part. And we think that it's a skill. We think that we don't innately always do these things or understand some of the opportunities that are there. And so I am just so happy to hear that. And what's the best piece of advice you've gotten and from whom?
So this is coming from my friend Ebony, who is my coach. She actually was my first peer coach when I was getting certified. And we talk multiple times a week. We both got certified at the same time. We both became MCCs at the same time. And I remember a couple of years, she called me out and she said, Lauren, stop doing the most. Meaning you don't have to do the most to be your best.
I'm just gonna let that mic drop. Just stay right there. I'm not even gonna comment on it because it's just so true. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, and as entrepreneurs, I think we need to hear that sometimes.
All the time. Every morning, you need to wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing the most or am I being my best?
Well said. Well said. You can present anywhere. Why give this new Train Up Live a try?
Well, I believe that all things should be tried out. And to find your right fit, you got to try a lot of things. Like you got to try a lot of frogs to find, your little slipper Cinderella. No, I'm just kidding. I think what you've put together at Train Up is a really comprehensive approach to professional development and learning, getting so many diverse perspectives in one place and so many different angles around leadership. It's really just like a buffet of learning where you can just take little samples. Maybe you're at Costco. It's like, I don't want to lower your value. You're just like taking your little bites and samples, but you can try things out and see, who resonates with you, what resonates with you, and what you want to dive into more of and really like allow to sink in.
Absolutely. I mean, we so believe in the diversity of perspective. And a lot of times when we're used to hearing the same voices, we go to the same voices. We want to expose people to individuals and people that you may never come across, because I believe so much in everybody that we have on here that you have something to offer to the world. Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, I know our audiences are going to love you. And there's a little button on your profile page that says Book Lauren. And you can engage with us to dive into some of Lauren's services. But Lauren, tell us more about how can our audience, if they want to dive in more with you, if they want more of this coaching experience you offer or the leadership development solutions that you offer that are so robust, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So we first start with an approach that focuses on trust and psychological safety. Google has tons of studies out there about the number one predictor of high performing teams is psychological safety. And I think a lot of leaders and organizations want to be innovative. They want to jump to this level of producing and challenging and disrupting the status quo. But what we need to focus on is, where do we have safety? Where do we not? Where do we need to build trust? So we create this really stable foundation first for yourself, and then for your team, and then for your organization. And then we work at where are those areas and blind spots that need to either be taught or strengthened. And I think Train Up's a great place to do it. I take a more individual look at where might there be some unconscious bias? Where might there be some past resentment from past workplace situations? Where might we just need to dive in deeper and allow you to have a vision of yourself? Because I think when we're in that day-to-day, we're inundated with putting out fires that we don't even have this space to imagine what things could be like in 10 years. So we create that space. I love to co-create and strategize, and people call me the people whisperer because I can really understand the inner workings and drivers energetically of people and the people that are encountering and what kind of outcome they'll get.
No, I love that. And I think, and I tell people all the time, business climate and the needs of businesses are so vast. We really need to bring these kind of innovative solutions to bear And I love what you're doing, starting with safety first, because if in trust, if we don't get that down, then it's hard to build and really solve some of the strategic challenges that organizations need. So can't wait to engage in some of these opportunities together with you.
Definitely.
It's been awesome having you answer these 7 questions with us. Of course, you're going to get a chance, everyone, to hear from Lauren in various Train Up Live episodes. And so we look forward to you joining us there.